Good morning, live from Skye. It's Lilia here from Heal Scotland, and I've got John Angus from Self-Help Food.
Hey guys.
So we wanted to come on and we tried to do a live after the Heal Inn finished, and we just didn't have very great internet connection. So we thought we'll come in and we will just talk about everything that we've learned and what we've seen. I'm just going to make sure that my Facebook feed is providing what it needs to be providing, because sometimes, sorry, it'll give me 2 ticks. Actually, what I'll do is I'll sort that out on my phone, and John, you can take it away with you provided the food for the 9 weeks for the 14 different retreats. What was your biggest kind of takeaway from the Heal Inn?
Yeah, there were probably quite a few, and it seems like quite a long time ago now. A lot's happened. I've turned into a 40-year-old since then, so I feel a lot older. What was great about it was consistently having to provide that kind of food for 8 or 9 weeks, which I've never really done before, other than being in and around the food trucks, which didn't have the highest demand levels, and there wasn't as much pressure put upon me to keep producing stuff and varying it as well. I suppose with it being in the winter, it was a bit more restricted given the amount of produce that was available. So yeah, I had to think outside the box a little bit. But it was just great to be inspired by people enjoying it, and, as I say, pushed to learn more myself, because I really feel like I've got less than 5% of the knowledge that I want to have. And what excites me now by not being bound by a business is having the time to go and learn and start to reproduce this food for people, and to try and do it in bigger quantities for communities. I've got the time now to go and spend time with yourselves, hopefully at Highland Base Camp with Claire Holohan, and really learn about what these amazing wild herbs can do for us, and start to incorporate that in the cooking a lot more, just to get people to heal from within. And yeah, I'm just so excited about what's to come, because I've really freed myself up in the last few weeks to be able to go and make magic happen.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been much as it's been an incredible few months, it's been full on, particularly for you. You've obviously got 2 daughters, and you were selling a hotel, and you were trying to move out the hotel and move house. So it was a lot of things that you had going on.
Yeah.
And I just had I was waking up every morning in Slig and able to kind of, calibrate myself with breath work and meditation, and obviously bringing all these people that we did. I've not counted yet. I've not done the sums on the whole experience yet, but we saw transformations occur every single retreat, regardless whether it was me that was running it or anyone else. The difference was, and everybody was excited about it, because change, as we know, can be challenging, and people want things to be different without really doing anything different. And that's ultimately, we have to make changes in order to see changes.
Yeah, and consistency is the key. So for us to have been able to provide a consistent message for, 8 or 9 weeks, it's not a long period of time, but we need to be doing that forever. Like
52 weeks and then another.
Exactly. So I think obviously how much information you consistently give people, regardless of the 8 or 9 weeks, is great, but for it to have been even more condensed in those 8 or 9 weeks, for people to have received it online consistently, and also for people, there were 2 or 3 folk who came to 4 or 5 or 6 of the retreats. So the benefit that would have done them is incredible. And I guess what we really need, a lot of this stuff for most of the population, no doubt, still feels very woo-woo. But the more that people start to engage with it and use it and have it as a consistent presence in their life, and people start to notice changes in their friends because their friends are using these techniques, then it's the woo-woo tag's just going to start falling away and dissolving very, very quickly, and people are just going to want to jump on board. So yeah, so exciting. Well, what's to come?
And I think, the way we hadn't really planned to do maybe as many cooking lessons as you ended up doing, because obviously food is a key part of, and it's one of the, all of us, well, most of us enjoy eating delicious food. And, we were kind of thinking, well, it's just simple, just follow the recipe. But what was great was people loved the food, and then you were able, unlike me, to give them the recipes to follow, which you're quite candid about, you got from other people. So it's really, really simple. It means now you've tasted it, this is what it's like, and you just do it in these quantities and you can make it. There's so much rumbling away here.
Well, I think one of the biggest things or questions was, when are you going to release a cookbook? And like I kept saying to everyone, I can't be bothered writing a cookbook because I'm as guilty as everyone else of buying cookbooks and then maybe using 1 or 2 or 3 recipes out of them, and then they're just on a shelf like we've got behind us there, gathering dust for ages. Mm-hmm. What I would rather do is start to get out there and cook with communities and teach them. I don't particularly want to be cooking for people for 4 or 5 days a week. I would rather be teaching people so that they can start doing it themselves, so that I don't have to do it anymore. Not because I'm lazy, more because time's marching on, and it's so important that people learn how to do it. So yeah, really, really keen to share as many recipes as possible for what we've already done, but maybe even do some cook-alongs live with Heal Scotland going forward, where I'm reaching, more of you at the same time, as opposed to people having to come to a class, but also going to communities and just getting everyone together who's interested in cooking within that community to cook for whoever's there, but also for people who aren't as bothered, and start to get communities thinking about cooking for each other, as opposed to everyone having to have that individual burden every evening of the day. Half the families in the village probably, I'm sure, don't want to cook. So why can we not get communities cooking big batches of stuff?
I think that's a great vision, an absolutely great vision. And it was interesting how quickly, you had them, I don't know, say we had 12 people, just as an example, round the little stoves. And then in an hour and a half, they'd produced this beautiful, diverse dinner. So that's what I thought, so quick.
Yeah.
And everybody was suddenly like, the food that you were providing, which was so tasty and delicious and diverse, they're now going home, and we've got all these groups and people are saying, look what I made, and that's it right there.
Yeah, totally. And I think even at the festival in Broadford at the weekend, I could have slaved on my own for probably 15 hours to produce the amount of food that we produced in less than 2 hours. We made dinner for, there must have been 70 or so people who came in, 70 or 80 folk who came and had dinner that night, and then there was enough left over for lunch and lunch the following day. So we fed about 150 people, and because 12 to 15 of us got together, chopped some veg, made sure things didn't burn for an hour and 45 minutes, we had all this food ready, as opposed to me doing it all on my own, no one learning from it, no one really benefiting from it other than potentially when they ate it. But we need to share all this knowledge, and holding back knowledge isn't going to serve anyone well. Like, it needs to be shared. It needs to be shared for free. We can't be charging people through the roof for things that are going to benefit them, because so imagine delaying someone's
morning, Sharon. We'll see you soon. 2 weeks and Friday, we'll see you. Absolutely. And the thing is that the food is the basic of the food is the medicine. And as John was saying there, it was interesting with Kenny saying, I don't know what to do with a nettle. But he's obviously now started, the nettles are one of the most powerful nutritionally dense plants, and they're prolific in Scotland. So what do we do with that, and how can we introduce them into our diet? And how can we make sure that we are utilising the power, not just of the nettles, but of all the plants that are literally, as Jean Dow was saying at the weekend, they're coming through the cracks in the pavement.
Yeah.
The wild medicine is there. And I know, because I've been into this for a few years now, but really spent my whole life walking past all the medicines with zero understanding of the power. And also, obviously, a lot of our medicines, guess where they come from? Of course, the plants, the trees, the herbs, the spices. So now we're really moving into a completely new era. And obviously I spent 2 weeks in India eating the most delicious food. And I came home and I was like, well done, John. Didn't feel anything was missing at the weekend. The food was absolutely delicious and tasty. And I think that's another message. You know, we're not saying that everybody should be vegans. Not at all. That does not work for everyone. But what we are saying is we need a lot more veggies and diversity, plants, fibre. And a lot of that stuff is free. It's grown outside. It's wild medicine. And what is wild medicine? It's anything that can help you feel better. Movement is medicine. Trees are medicine. Plants are medicine. Light can be medicine. The cycles of the seasons, the cycles of the lights, all of that, when the body is interacting with these cycles, whether we like it, know it or not. And then it's now for us starting to remember, okay, we're part of this incredible universe. Everything is pulsing and vibrating. And now, obviously, my talk at the festival, I've changed it to about heart and heart coherence, because thanks to my 9... Did you watch The Source this morning?
No, so Lilia's watched The Source 9 times. I downloaded it this morning for the first time. It's the first time I've had a chance. I've watched 10 minutes, so I'm playing catch up now. So maybe by Tarbert I'll have caught up with her. So the human heart, and one of the GPs that's in the documentary, she said that's what blows her away time after time. They are replicating the same results every single retreat. We know what to do now. And the human heart is so powerful. And again, it's just like the whole entire human body. We thought it was this kind of meat suit that just kind of clunked its way around planet Earth. And now we're realizing we've got a whole electromagnetic side to us that is absolutely powerful and energetic, and light flows through it and energy flows through it if we allow it. So come and hear me talk. John and I are going to be doing the opening ceremony, which will be a wee bit of a surprise. And then Sharon Tate and I are going to take you through an afternoon of supercharging your cells. So we are so excited. And then we've got loads of other stuff going on. Check out the website. But what we'd like to ask from you guys is, do you have a village hall? We are looking to spread ourselves around the country. And anybody that runs events and retreats knows that getting the right venue is the challenge. We're looking for good sized community halls where we can come teach people to breathe, teach people to meditate, teach people to cook, and have big community cook-ups for as close to free as we possibly can. So if you know a place, a really great place, then please let us know, because we're going to be mobilising and getting out and about. We have to, it's gone is the time for talking about this. The politicians aren't going to fix it. Big Pharma's not going to fix it. It has to be us, the people, caring about each other in our communities. And we know that community is immunity. And if you have a strong community and you'd like us to come in and share this information, then just let us know and we'll be there. Because some communities are more open to it than others. We know that. Marcy just was telling me yesterday that the Happy Pair, they went round in their community and said, look, we'll feed you for free for a month just to try eating this kind of nutrient, fibre-dense, diverse food to see how you feel. And for free, just as a great human experiment. And I know that a lot of people that are already on our site have, already understand that food is medicine, but it also can be poison. And it's so important for us to fully understand it's not a hippy-dippy, crazy, quackery idea. All your medicines come from nature anyway, but they get changed and they get processed so that they can be patented. And what we're saying is that Mother Nature has given us all the medicine that we need, and now we're getting this phenomenal information and data and science. And when I was in India, my friend said, Lilia, I've known this for 40 years. Iyengar taught me all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, it's not that it was never true. We know, a lot of people have known how true it is and how faith heals. But now we've got the data to show you, the data to prove to you how powerful you are. And that's what was awesome watching Kenny's work with the ice, and how people were just starting off on Friday going, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then something draws you into, am I strong enough to sit in the ice for 10 minutes? And the answer is yes. Everybody did it. So the power of the mind,
for the people, by the people, Shan, you're absolutely right. That's the movement. And what we're asking you to do is just rally the troops. Let's make some noise. Let's bring the noise, as John Watt says, where people are not being served by what's going on right now. The CDC, the food companies, they know the bliss point. Read processed people, ultra-processed people, if you don't believe me. They know what to do to hook you in. We've been played like an old fiddle, and it's time for us to take our power back and realise, and we've seen it. We spent all that time in January and February in Scottish winter seeing people transform, sometimes in as little as 3 days, 2 to 3 days. It's mind-blowing. We know what to do, and now we just need to do it. Yeah. So we're going to be in Tarbert 2 weeks on Friday, which is the 11th.
Yeah, and I think what I was talking to you yesterday or the day before about is that I went to Tarbert 2 years ago, I think, for the first festival. Having not been dragged there at all, but gone down there only having operated the food truck for 6 months. So relatively new to that kind of world. But it was so amazing to be surrounded by people who only have, the improvement in everyone's well-being as their common aim. And the confidence that it gives you. So, it very much remained a side thing for me for the last 2 years. Now that I've sold the business, that's not going to be the case anymore. But the confidence that it gives you to come to something like that, and I know that there's bound to be loads of people out there who they've got something whispering within them that how they're living is not correct and that there must be another way, or they're maybe starting off, some kind of wellness modality themselves, but they're not sure if a Heal Scotland festival is going to be for them. But what I would say is just come along and kind of meet the folk, the tribe that's going to be there, and it'll just give you so much confidence and inspiration that it'll keep you going, and it'll push you on to greater heights. And yeah, together we're stronger. There's so many people pulling in the same direction, but individually. But if we can start doing things collectively, then oh my God, where can our country go? We've lived in this place for hundreds or thousands of years. A lot of the time, probably not living our best lives, but like Lilia just touched upon, we've got the data now which proves that if we can start thinking in a way that's more conducive of, we're so self-deprecating as people, Scottish people, we're always putting ourselves down, and that might be, in a jocular fashion, taking the piss out of ourselves. But if we can reverse that self-talk and tell ourselves how powerful and how wonderful we are, even if you don't believe it initially, you'll start believing it and you'll start becoming it. And yeah, maybe we just need to move away from we can still be funny fuckers, but maybe we can start to be really confident, strong funny fuckers. So we've got, the potentials. It scares me sometimes, like how poor our diets. I can't believe that most of us are still here, given how poorly we've lived for so long. But we've got through that, and maybe the stress that we've put our bodies under has just been a test for what's to come. And so many of us can flourish and fly. We just need to start doing the right things consistently. So if you're out there and you're on the fence as to whether or not you want to come to Tarbert, just take that leap of faith and come. And I'm not going to be doing the catering this year, which I'm really excited about. So it means I'm going to get to speak to more people and meet more people, which I'm going with my little girl as well. So yeah, I can't wait to be there. And I'm going to do a little, hopefully I'm speaking to Heather at Heathery Heights, a local forager, speaking to her at 12 o'clock today. And hopefully we're going to gather like over 20 different spring greens and put them together in this pesto that I made with our friend Andrea last year. And I've never tasted anything like it in my life. It's like you're eating electricity. So,
I like the sound of that.
So yeah, so that's the one thing we'll hopefully be doing during the weekend. So Kenny will show you what to do with a jaggy nettle, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many. I mean, obviously the mission is educate, inspire, support, and there's a lot of education, a lot of great people coming and sharing this information for free. But what the great thing about the festival is, it's like a banquet of so many different things, and your biggest issue will be choosing who to go and see. We're going to have Will.i.am with his Plaid and staffs. He's going to be in Tarbert Marquee, and also Juliet the artist will be there doing the kind of large life-size paintings. So these workshops will be limited. So please check out the website. Tell other people that you know that would love it. It's a brilliant weekend. It's so much fun. We have so much laughter as well. And of course, we've got Kaylee, we've got the incredible Archie McAllister joining us on Saturday night. And we've got DJ Stish on Friday night. He absolutely had the place jumping last year. It was so much fun. So yeah, it's all about the fun. That's one of the best medicines. We have the food. We've got the salmon, the trout, the herring, the mackerel, the shellfish. Nutrient dense, high in omega-3, the best brain food, perhaps arguably in the world, in our land, in and on our land, and we are not eating it. So we have berries that grow wild. We have a plethora of greens. I mean, one salad that Claire made, I think we counted 36 different leaves in it, all just out from the garden in the forest. It's all there. And we just need to learn more about it and inspire each other and then support. Because obviously, how do we go back into our communities? Sharon obviously has got a huge warrior women community. Kenny's got the polar bear community. Steve's got the Good Food Project. That's the ones I know best right now. But we need to all be pulling together to make this work, to get over any petty differences, any idea that we're in competition. Collaboration's the new black. And collaboration is what's going to take our country's frequency, vibration, health trajectory up. And we're going to turn this mothership round so that we're from one of the worst in the world to one of the best. I truly know that is within sight. And it doesn't need to take too long. It just needs people willing to make a few changes and having the courage to show up.
Yeah.
Show up at the festivals, show up at the beaches, whatever it is that you can do. There's something for everyone. So have you got anything else you want to say before we finish up?
Yeah, no, just what you said just now. And like I kind of said at the start of the festival in Broadford, the folk who follow this page, the folk who get it, it's really important that we are the change. Mm-hmm. And, we all have off days, and, I eat crap food sometimes as well still, but I don't eat anywhere near as much as I used to. And that balance has completely shifted. So for this to all work, we all need to be the ones who are really demonstrating the change, because otherwise it's always going to appear woo-woo to our friends and family. And I'm sure we all, have different stories about how our friends and family react to some of the stuff that we do. But it's the truth. It's so much closer to the way that we're meant to be living than we have been living for so long. So I just urge everyone just to be so gentle with themselves, but just to try and be as consistent as possible, and not to beat yourself up when you go off track a little bit. Forgive yourself instantly, because the longer you beat yourself up for the more likely you are to regress. So just consistency is the key, and it's not something, we're not looking for overnight changes. That doesn't happen. But what does happen is amazing changes over slightly longer periods of time. So
the butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah. So
little and often. But the other thing that really drives me, which is the more negative side of it, is that they're making a fortune over our poor health, anxiety, etc. And that is absolutely not necessary anymore. We have so much data and so much understanding around the power of the trees, the sea, the cold, the light, the temperature, each other. And if we just have to get through petty grievances and all pull together to make this fun and to raise our own vibration, because that's ultimately what we're doing at that electrical magnetic level.
Yeah.
Is we're allowing ourselves to rise in terms of the frequency so that we don't suffer. And there's so much suffering around right now. And nobody's coming to save us. It's up to us, the people, to change that. And we do that together.
Yeah, like Zach Bush talks about, there are clearly very many problems to be fixed out in the world there. And you can go and you can start to try and fix them one by one. But as soon as you fix one, another one's going to pop up. Let's not bother about fixing any problems. Just become what the solution looks like. Just be the solution. Mm-hmm. And then all the problems they start falling away anyway. So it's kind of what I was trying to say is just you know the right things to be doing, or at least a good few of them by now. So it's just start to try and consistently do them in your lives, and all the problems will start shedding away.
I definitely think I could, you know, we talked about this before, Kirsten and I, about having like a supper club where you would get together maybe with 5, 6, 7 of your friends and say, right, you do Monday, you do Tuesday, you do Wednesday. So that as a mum or a dad or a parent or any kind of carer, you only have to think about one meal through the week because it's exhausting. And it's time, and that's when you slip, you come in, you don't have organised, you know, and I think with pressure cookers and slow cookers now, we can easily, it's just as easy to put 4 cups of lentils in as it is one, and we can share. So I think if we can really crack the food, that gives us the energy, the clarity to make better choices, and that's ultimately what it comes down to, is just making better choices.
And no doubt when you're cooking for other people as well, you're going to potentially put a bit more love and care into it than you would for yourself as well. But I can only speak personally about, it's the food that changed everything for me. If I hadn't put myself in that food truck almost 3 years ago, I would never be sitting here. And I probably don't say this often enough, but I did about 20 solid stools, less than 10 solid stools in 20 years.
Wow.
Until I put myself in that food truck. And I probably didn't go to doctors often enough to ask what was wrong with me, but I don't think I was going to get the right answers if I'd gone there anyway. But just that alone is just, I cannot tell you how freeing it is having turned that around.
Your body's actually working.
Yeah, your body's, you know, even if you start feeling better, that's physical proof that you're moving in the right direction anyway. And as I say, despite having been so busy running a business and trying to do too much, I've felt those benefits. So I am so excited to start being able to watch the source. And, you know, if I've managed to do this, then what can I do now that I've actually
what else is
time?
possible?
So, and that's what I hope everyone else out there who gets Heal Scotland, just think about yourselves, be a bit more selfish than you have been, because without you guys making the change, then we're not going to fix anyone else.
Well, we have to be the change, don't we? We have to walk the walk so we don't rattle, and it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
But also I think focusing on the solutions, and I think there's a few leaders out there that are already leading the way in terms of solutions. And there's loads of people I know that know what to do and they're not quite sure where to fit in.
Yeah.
And that's where just sharing the events, rocking up at the events. It's amazing to see even the people that are presenting with us, how their confidence has grown and how their reach has grown, you know, because not only are we helping individuals, we're helping the people that are helping the individuals within their communities. We're passionate about that. Anybody, Heal Scotland's an umbrella for all the incredible stuff that's going on in Scotland, and there is a lot of incredible stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of us then for today. We will be in Tarbert, kicking off the opening ceremony at 12 o'clock on Friday the 11th of April. So please come and see us there. Come and join the fun. We've got the Wim Hof instructors there all weekend doing ice and private breathwork sessions, and then we'll have the big breathe at 1 o'clock on the Sunday. Sharon Tate and I are going to be there. We're kind of rocking the big tent on the Friday. We've got Zendevers coming up with their new wee baby and loads of other amazing teachers and healers. So please spread the word, and if you can, come and join us. We've got day tickets available too. So really hope to see you there. Huge love and gratitude, team.
See you guys. See you
ciao,
soon.
ciao.
Bye.